Boom. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, or as I like to call it, happy new comic book day eve. Wow, I almost fucked it up. We are 7 days away from 7.5, maybe away from Moon Knight. We are 8 days away from Morbius. So next week is going to be a busy week, but it is new comic book day tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. The last one before we actually get a show. And of course, none other than doesn't a show or movie, but more so today, a show steal the headlines with all this. Man, I'm not even going to pronounce her name. I'm going to wait till Chris shows up here to pronounce the name. But, that Emily Clark character and everything like that. So it was an exciting day today, of course, in comics. But welcome. So tonight, cheap 9.8 books to get to still invest in. I think the panel will agree with these. I mean, even though they haven't seen these yet, I think they'll agree. But I got two guests on today with me, special guests, special friends, extended friends and family of the newbieverse. So let's bring them out. I don't want to keep them waiting. First up, we've got my guy, Vancouver comic junkie, big brother out west. What's going on, man?
Not too much, just hanging out. Finally get to do a little comic book talking.
Hanging out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, big news today. So can you please pronounce it? I always forget. I literally have to hear this character's name and then I pronounce it because I fuck it up all the time. Varanki. Okay. Whew. I always fuck it up. There you go. 9.8.
Yeah, this book just got hot as fuck. So get them graded.
What is the 9.8s going for right now? I haven't looked at it.
They were going for about 250, 2 to 250, but it seems like there was a sale today at 380 US.
Yeah, I was gonna say you talked US prices. So
yeah, but I went and looked online, and it seems like there's a bunch sitting around $500 to $800, and they're not getting sold. So
$500 to $800
US, yeah, but no one's buying them.
So what is the one in 25 going for? Or the cover B?
I don't know.
Holy Jesus. Okay.
I have no idea. Unfortunately, that's one I never got. So yeah, I kind of missed that boat. But I have a buddy who's got one, and I envy him greatly. Actually, I have two friends who have them.
I was just gonna say, Greg just posted that he's got like 6 copies, and then he's got one of them being that other one in a 9.8. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, we've been buying it like crazy. So
good for him.
I could never find the second print.
Yeah, or that's what it is. Second print, not 1 in 25. Yeah. Second print. That's what it is. Yes,
it's tough to find. Yeah, but even before this news, I think that thing was going for about 600.
Yeah, and I remember passing it up raw for like 60, being like, nah, I don't think so. And now cheap. Look at me. Fuck. Yeah, I know. Well, I know a guy who's got 5 copies but can't find them, so I kind of feel bad for him. But it is none other than my guy who just made a move. He's back on the scene on Whatnot, back on the scene on YouTube. He kind of took a little bit away because he was moving, but he's got 5 copies of this book. Can't find them. Empire, what's going on, man?
Yo, what up? Yeah. What's up, fellas?
Dude, I feel so bad. When you said that you had 5 and you couldn't find them, I'm like, oh.
Well, I know they're in here somewhere. You see this? They're in here somewhere. But I just looked for you, man. There's one sold today for $379. That's the highest I've seen sold.
The second print?
No. The first one, 9.8.
Jesus, man. So it's $600. Yeah. And then as soon as we probably get confirmation or like official word or a leak, you guys know how it goes. That's probably going to be an $800 to $1,000 book because 9/8 of whatever happens usually ends up going to 4 figures. So
well, and she is a significant actress too. So it's I think that's going to play into it a bit. If it was some nobody, I don't think it would go crazy, but yeah. So we'll see.
But remember too, right? Like this kind of hype, and I know it's different because it's a show and not a movie, but the same hype was made for Dana Whitman, right? Or Kit Harington, is that what it's
name? Yeah, Kit Harington.
Yeah, Kit Harington. Sorry, I messed that up. For him, right? Leading up to Eternals and things like that. Everybody kind of dug in and was like, hey, he's got a 4 or 5, picture deal. And then they were kind of disappointed in what happened. Big actor as well. So who knows? This might be different just because.
Yeah, but look. It's interesting you said that. I believe in this. Don't think about the highest that book got. Think about where it's going to end up after all the specs. So like I was buying that first appearance of Dane Whitman 2 years prior to all this news. I'm not kidding. I was buying them for $20 to $30 each. And now those same books are $700 to $1,000 each. And that's after all the hype died down. And everyone's like, fuck Dane Whitman. So I'm like, that's awesome. That's like in investment terms, that's an incredible investment. So if we look at this, if you're buying these books raw for $25 to $40 and you can get 9/8 out of them, you're killing it. If they come back $300, killing it.
Yeah.
So
it's the game. But Chris, we talk about it all the time, right? Patience.
Yeah.
And you know me, I have on
Zero.
certain books, I have patience, and then on others, I'm like, I don't got any. But
I got to get rid of this thing before it burns me. All right.
Oh man, you know how many
we've
times
all held on to books too long, right?
Yeah, me too. Oh, I
but you know how many times Chris has like, talked me down the tree kind of thing, that expression. Chris has, he's helped me a few times come down from that tree, man. Because
you're like, I'm going to make $15, man. $15.
Oh man,
That's $15 more than I had yesterday. Dude, what have I got? 150?
Oh man, yeah. It's safe to say, Chris always brings the laughs, and if we lived close to each other, I think he would just drive by my house, knock on my door, slap me, or kind of give me one of those, and then just.
We'd also die of liver poisoning or something.
Yeah, well, that too. That's right. But we got a good show for you. As you can see, the laughs are going. So let's start the show, man. Really quickly. I do want to talk about this weekend. Big news coming out of the newbieverse for myself and Mr. Comic Ozzy. So if you don't know, if you're in Southern Ontario, in Mississauga this Sunday, yours truly and Mr. Comic Ozzy are going to be selling for the first time. So we're going to be vendors at a show. So I'm kind of dabbing into that. It's the first time. So popping the cherry there. Also, guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Whatnot is officially in Canada. I was selected as a selected guest person, whatever. So I will be making my first show next week. So be on the lookout for that. I will be posting it. So follow me. Go follow me. What's that? What'd you say?
I want in on that.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I'll let as soon as I know more, I'll let you know more. But
so you're the ambassador for Whatnot from Canada, basically.
So here's what happens. So there's 18 of us that got selected from Canada. And so we met up, and honestly, I think most of those guys are card people.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think there was only maybe like 4 of us that were actually like comic people. So I don't know. I want to go on a limb and say, yeah, I'm like, the first. I don't want to say the ambassador because I'm not that cool. But yeah, man, it's there. Whatnot's here, so I'm actually pretty happy because I like the concept. I like the app, and I also don't like the 12% that eBay does, right? So I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Plus, like if you got a lot of books, there's a lot of people that want certain books, and if you have them, you can get them. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped, really pumped. I'm gonna be able to tell my grandchildren this, like, come on, gather around, kids. Be like, here's Grandpa again with his stories. So,
let me tell you about the time I made a couple of $1,000 in an hour on Whatnot.
Did I tell you guys when I
$15?
Fucking. Oh man, Uncanny Swag, Canada only or US? No. So it's gonna be open to everybody. So if you're in Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, Antarctica, South America, if you're a US buyer, you can still buy from us Canadians. And the shipping will still be the same. Everything is taken care of by Whatnot. Yeah, everything's on their end. So don't be afraid to buy from the Canadians, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. But anyway, that's next week. Let's go on to today. We got a show to talk about. So we got 10 books. Basically, the premise is cheap 9/8 to still invest in, and they should be invested for a reason. All these books in 9/8 are at a price that is, 1, really undervalued compared to other books, and 2, they're probably going to explode once they do hit. So we're just going to talk about them a little bit. Some books we already have, some books we've talked about in the past, some books, some guys in the chat, some guys in the panel might have 5, 10, 15, Chris, 25 copies of. So, we're gonna touch base on that. So let's get it started. First off, we got to go and say hello to the chat. So Hernani with the gold. What is going on, sir? Mr. Michael taking home the silver. Newbie taking home the bronze 2.0. Just playing. Zen, what's going on, man? You are the bronze. TKO Collectibles. Mr. Bleeker St Comics is in the house. Brandon Metro. I FOMO'd New Avengers 40 today around noon on eBay. Yeah.
I do that. Everyone does.
Hey, go on to something else, right? Buy Riri books because she's coming. I did the
They're
same
cheap now.
Oh,
They've gone down.
Riri
Like,
books are cheap. Comic Kingpins are in the house. What's going on? Johnny Dakota, Dab Comics. Yeah, Johnny out west with you. Spider Girl 69. How are you? Uncanny Swag Universe. Let's go. This slacking ass M Fur ignoring chat almost had a fuck ton of people on. Huh? I'm not sure what that means. What's going on, man?
I think you should check your chat.
Yeah, I think I have to. If Renki is posing as Jessica Drew and Amelia Clark is playing her, wouldn't it be Jessica Drew you want?
Who said that she's Jessica Drew?
Well, remember what I was telling you on the back, how before she was disguised, or she was when she was a Skrull, she was as Jessica Drew in the beginning of the first New Avengers arc, and then it was revealed like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's possible.
I'm always like leery of like comic book like details like entering the MCU. Like they seem to like fuck with us all the time. So I'm always very leery on anything until you see it officially.
And they could play around with this, man. I mean, Secret Wars is basically like a who's who, right? Anybody could be anybody with the whole Skrull stuff. So I mean, don't be surprised if she ends up being somebody else or that, like it's fun, but at the same time, it's like just that frustrating anxiety where you're like, just fucking tell me what it is.
Yeah. It's super fun though, man. It's like figuring out who's gonna win the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I try to tell my wife. I go, because she's like, why do you always get excited? Like every week it seems like you're excited. And I go, because it's literally like if you're into sports, it's literally like free agency.
Yeah.
Every goddamn day, because you're like, oh my God, if this character's this or that, like that's what it is. So that's why I get so excited, man. I don't know why. I'm just weird. So North 49.
We could be doing drugs.
Right.
Which I don't. Uncanny X Dan, what is going on, man? How you doing? Treasury edition. Hey, right on. Congrats, newbie, on being a Canadian whatnot pioneer. Yes, that's what I mean. I'm gonna tell my grandkids. I'm gonna tell them that 30 years from now, I'll tell them that I created the app. I'll be like, remember when I created the app and they stole the idea? And so I had to take a Segway to school uphill. That's what I was.
A Segway.
Do bags of milk?
Oh no.
No, geez. Oh,
do you do bags of milk, newbie?
I don't.
That's an
that was all his friends, I guess.
Yeah, that's the Comic Kingpins with the bag stuff, man.
No, we don't have them here.
Yeah, I don't.
Also, is not all of Canada?
No, it's a part of Ontario and Quebec.
Yeah, just like every state is different, every province is totally different. Yeah, we're not all igloo making plaid country stars that only eat maple syrup
but some are
poutine. Yeah, but some are most of them, but not
but
all.
you guys do ride mooses, right?
Hey, man, I've never seen a moose in my life.
Moose.
Oh, no.
I've never seen a moose in my life.
Really?
Never.
Wow, you should come to Vancouver.
Yeah. So Tim, you're never late, man. Do not worry. Swoop. All right. Let's get the show going, guys. I am excited. Nowhere Bounds in the house. I want to appreciate everybody and for hanging out with us on this Tuesday evening. So let's get it started. Let's go into talking comics. Guys, I'm excited, man. I don't know about you guys, but Moon Knight is next week. Morbius, nobody's talking about that at all.
Is it really a week away?
It's a week away, man. Next Wednesday is Moon Knight. Next Thursday is Morbius. So
did you hear the Morbius rumors that in the last 2 days though? Or was it yesterday?
Shit. It's shit.
I heard it's shit. I heard it was shit. I heard that the Vulture's not really in it, except maybe at the end. And that, remember how we saw that poster of Spider-Man Murderer in the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah. That they took that out too.
What?
That's what I'm hearing, man. That's what they took that out too.
Oh man,
serious.
I don't spec on Sony, man. Sony don't know what they're doing.
Listen, you know what? Really
stay away from Kraven the Hunter too.
You know what really killed it for me? I kind of had some like momentum going into it where I was like, okay, I think I could get behind this. Like, I think I'm gonna get excited for it. And then when that second trailer dropped, like around January, I think it was, when he started like flying, I was like, oh my God, like get the fuck out of here. Like, it was just one of those where I'm like, I can't do this. And Yeah. So I don't know. I'm obviously going to go see it because, it's a comic movie. It's not DC. So I will go see it opening day. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not, do I have high expectations? No. And here's, Empire, to your comment. The same people that are saying this is shit said that like Venom was like great. So
I still haven't seen it, so
that's kind of where I'm at. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I got to go see it. I got to see the old saying, right? You got to hear it from the horse's mouth. I got to go to the theater and watch it myself before I can make it. Because if I were to listen to the people that told me how good Venom was, I
can watch it for free on my Hack Fire Stick, and I still haven't watched it. Okay, so I don't know. It's like I said, it's Sony, man. Sony's there, right? It's Sony movies I put on when I got nothing else to do and for background noise.
Sadly, I think everyone feels that way.
Right?
Yeah. Big shout outs to Nemesis Prime over here, man. He just came home. He was doing a trip out in Texas, and he went to like all these shops, man. It was a good time, fun time. Remember, guys, the Comic Con podcast, they do episodes every week, so make sure you guys go check them out. Justin is a good guy, friend of the channel, friend of myself personally now, and my Star Wars encyclopedia. Because usually I'm like, hey man, what is this? When I pass Star Wars books, and he's usually giving me the thumbs up or thumbs down. So appreciate it.
It's crazy. He's got that locked down, eh?
Dude,
Star Wars, that's his thing. And it's like, you go to him.
With the amount of Star Wars characters there are and everything that goes on, it's like super impressive to like when he talks, I'm like, because like I'm just like I have no idea what's going on, right? Because people get excited, right? Like that's his thing. So when he talks to me about it, he it's like if Sheldon Cooper was teaching me like physics, and I'm just like, but he talks to me at a certain pace that I understand it. So I appreciate him for doing all that stuff, man. AOA with the super chat, $2. Newbie is going to be on plastic Canadian money soon. Yo, that'd be kind of cool, man. I wouldn't be out of it. All right, well, let's get it going, guys. We got a show to start. So cheap, 9.8 graded comic books to invest in still. Now, again, some of these prices, I get it. Everyone has different finances, but I think one thing that some of us will agree on is some of these prices are still too cheap. The other thing is that these prices were taken from, say, eBay, these high places where like we know the deal. A price on eBay is not necessarily the price that you see on, say, the secondary market or somewhere where you could make a deal. So with that said, let's go. Let's start it up. Boom, 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 boom. First book on the list. We've got Uncanny X-Men 239. Last auction price for a 9.8 of this went for just under $300 Canadian. Raw copies can be found anywhere between $5 and $20. Now, I know what you guys are saying. It's kind of going to be difficult for them to do this villain. I can see why, but at the same time, with everything that's going on globally, I think that you might be doing one of these because I don't think that Omega Red is going to be coming, just simply because of, again, what's going on globally. If they wanted to kind of pick a character that could be around here and there, this is the perfect one. Not to mention, we already got Apocalypse in that horrible X-Men movie. We've already seen Juggernaut so many times. When they revive this X-Men animated show, I think that this could be one of the bigger villains to maybe be the villain throughout that show, and it will probably gain a little bit of traction. So again, a book that, is still under the radar. First cover appearance, second appearance overall. It's a good book to have. I got this book every time I find it now, just simply because of Chris's, what's the word I'm looking for? He basically told me to go get it. So I do it. Recommendation. That's the word. So Empire, what do you think, man? Empire, you are muted.
My bad. I agree with you 100%, bro. I feel like Sinister's coming. They already went through what? Apocalypse, Magneto, and all that stuff. He's prime for the picking, and I can't see you say. I don't know what the conversion is from Canadian and American, but $5 to $20.
US.
So what?
Like
$275.
Oh man, that's not bad at all, especially with the raw. Yeah, I would jump on it.
I find these all the time raw. Chris, I know
really?
You.
I think it's I personally wouldn't buy a 9.8 myself. I would make a 9.8. I'd buy these raw. I see these all the time for $15 to $20. I'd buy $100 worth of them and pick them right, and hopefully get 3 or 4 9/8 out of it. So that's what
I've never seen this out there. Well, I haven't really been hunting. Well, I haven't been hunting hard really since maybe last fall, but I never saw this out there before that.
I see it quite often. It's not missing in our neck of the woods. But
no,
everyone's after the 221. They're not after this, and
yeah.
I think this is a forgotten book a little bit. So,
well, that's the thing too, right, Chris? When we talk about that ladder effect, right? After that one, this is probably the second best book to get. So, like, why wouldn't you? Especially on the cheaper end, because all you need is for this character to just show up once, or maybe just for a little second, and then it pops, right? So there is a room to grow on this. Also, not to mention, I mean, look at how he has. What's this chick's name again? That's like half naked. Pryor, right? Isn't that Pryor?
Madeline Pryor.
Yeah, that's what her name is. I mean, you know, it's a sick cover. So this one
241's another one after this. That's Madeline Pryor is like a goblin queen. I forget the name is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's on the whole cover. I don't know if Sinister's on that cover though.
I don't think so. I have a copy over here, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah. Ozzy's in the house. X-Men 221 is getting hot. Dick Fury. Madeline Pryor. Some of the names on YouTube, man. Serge is in the house. The art chemist is in the house. What's going on, man? You're never late. Kenneth, what's going on? Yeah, this is definitely a good book. And Chris, to your point, right? I mean, you don't necessarily have to buy a 9/8. You can make a 9/8 because there is a lot of these out there. But again, when you see those pictures of people who have like 50 copies of a book when something gets hot, this is the perfect example of what we're talking about, right? Because the book is so cheap now, you kind of just got to have patience and you got to take the leap, right? So,
but I will say this though, get them graded as soon as possible, simply because when that moment comes, when you want to make some money on this, it's better to sell graded copies. It's just the way it is. So,
yeah, 100%.
Grade them in advance.
Icebox Comics and Games is in the house. Hey, first time catching it live. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to book number 2. Now, I think that this is one of the more forgotten books you can find out there, but it's Oblivion Song number 1. Currently, 9.8s are selling for $100 to $120 Canadian. And at the heat of the moment, when this thing basically came out, that Jake Gyllenhaal was actually going to be producing or directing. I can't remember. I think he could be doing all 3: acting, producing, directing. This book 9/8 hit $350 to $400 Canadian at one point, and it has dropped severely just simply because the John Cena. You can't see me. It's not in my face. I'm not thinking about it, right? So definitely a book that I would be on the lookout for. They're basically raw $5 to $20. Again, just as another book that is super cheap. It's optioned. Jake Gyllenhaal's a big star, right? He's not like A+, but he's up there.
He's pretty A+, man. Like he's up there. Yeah.
I'd put him at A. Yeah, I'd put him at A. Yeah. But with him being the focal point of the project, right, and having reins over it, I think this book is going to just go up. What are your thoughts, Empire?
On this one, I really don't know much about Oblivion Song. Honestly, I didn't pick this one up or read it, but the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal, he is a big actor and everything, but I don't know too much about this one, man. I don't know. If I find it raw, I would definitely grab him and send him in, but I missed the boat on this one.
The series just ended, like I think like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Because I remember we were talking about it on New Comic Book Day, making sure to like pick up that last issue. I think that's what it was. But Chris, this is a little bit more modern, and I know that you don't.
No, I have this book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked it up in a trip for like $5. I was lucked out on it, but and I didn't even really know much about it when I bought it. Saying that, I liked it, and I'm probably gonna get it graded. But I have issue like so, and I'm not saying anything that nobody else doesn't know. When a project gets optioned, almost everything gets optioned.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It just means that like a production company owns the right to make it or not, and they kind of develop it, and then they decide if they can make it or not. And having someone like Jake Gyllenhaal involved in that, it's very common. He's probably attached to 30 different productions like this.
Yeah. Isn't he attached to like Profit or something like that?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he is that as well. But there's a pile of them. And it could be anything, right? And so when you realize that he only makes like one movie or one project a year, it starts the odds get pretty low on this, and then the option's probably 3 to 5 years. This could go into turnaround. I don't know. I wouldn't buy a graded copy. I'd buy a raw copy if I was ever going to get into it. But I will say this: it's pretty good. It's not bad. So I quite liked it. For if you buy it cheap, it's good.
I like how you said that. Yeah, it's everything gets optioned, right? Like things are optioned all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going, but like again, all we would need is just another like, hey, Jake Gyllenhaal just casted this person, or this person was seen with Jake Gyllenhaal and they're reading a book, right? And then it's like, oh my god, and then this book just explodes. But you could find this one at cons. We found this at cons for like $10. And I mean, we picked up a stack. Just Cruz, Brandon, myself, we picked up a few. So I'll see where it goes. I mean, cheap buy-in, right? So you don't really have much to lose. So
how do they sell raw? Like, are you able to get? Or I don't know. Like they sell like $10, $15.
Yeah. Oh yeah, $5 to $15, depending. There's some people that don't even know what it is, right? Like, it's because it's not something that's like actively talked about. Like, when was the last time you had a comic conversation and you brought up Oblivion song?
Never.
Right? Exactly. That's what I mean, though, right?
Yeah,
so
this one.
It is what it is, right? So, and I don't think you'd have a problem if you went up to a cash register and had like 10 copies in your hand. They'd probably
they'd just
want to get rid of it. So they'd be like, yeah, take it, right? So
I'm always leery about these hot option books, just because they're only hot for like the week after that option gets announced, and then it kind of just dies.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of them, man. Same with Profit, right? Like the last time that we talked about Profit, it was literally with that like rumor that Jake Gyllenhaal was maybe doing it, I think, and then the book jumped to like $15 raw. Now it's back to being like $1 book. Like it's just all over the place. I literally just passed like at a flea market like 5 copies of Profit 1. Now they weren't in the best shape, but at the same time, like the guy was literally just giving them away, and I was like, no, I just don't. I'm okay.
I just got a 9.8 in that first appearance, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it because I don't think it's worth
Profit.
Yeah, the first Profit.
What is it? Youngbloods.
Youngblood 2.
Do
you
have that pink one?
Too.
The pink one, or
I have both. I have both.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So I'm rich now, guys.
Just picked this up for $5 the other day. Yeah, they're still freaking out there, man. Good pickup, man. Good pickup. I'm still waiting for Turok 1 to explode because I know where so many of those books are that I would be able to.
Every flea market in the United States got two.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, every comic book place. I swear to God, at the end of time, it's going to be Turok 1 and that free comic book day First Virus. Those are the 2 books that are always going to just be everywhere, I think. So
I agree.
All right, let's go on to another book, and I think this one is very undervalued. Nobody's giving it any love. Nobody's giving it any respect, but we got X Factor #1, first appearance and origin of the X Factor team. Raw copies can be found anywhere between $10 and $20. 9.8s currently sell anywhere between $180 and $280 Canadian. All minor or big X Factor keys are super cheap. Like, I literally just found all probably 9.8 candidates of like so many like X Factor keys, and they're literally like 50 cents to $1, like nothing. So even if you grade it and maybe one day it pops, well, guess what? The investment all day is literally $1 plus your CGC fee. It's literally like under $50 if you do it properly. So it's not bad. X Factor's really slept on. There was a time, I think like 2-3 months ago, where people were like talking about X Factor, but then that died really quickly. Just so many things on the go. So I don't know, but I'm actively looking for this one in very high grade. Empire, what do you think, man?
This is a great book, man. This is a good one. I would definitely grab this one. I haven't seen it out there, but I would grab it out. When it comes with X Factor and X-Men, any X-Men key that's cheap, like what you said $10, $20 Canadian, heck yeah, snatch that up, stack them up.
Another great book.
You go through there.
I feel like the X Factor run is going to be like the West Coast Avengers run of the future, where a bunch of keys pop up. 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
You got
is it my turn?
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
I love this book. I've been secretly buying it whenever I see it in super high grade. I'm not buying graded copies. Obviously, I like to buy raw.
Yeah.
And they're out there. They're really easy to get, and I pick them up whenever I see them. And the reason is, if you look at, okay, so when mutants hit the MCU, and they obviously are hitting at some point.
May 6th,
maybe,
just saying.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, when they get their own stuff going, and we start seeing like Wolverine and all the characters, it's going to get really exciting really quick. Yeah. And I think everyone's been sleeping on mutant books. Like they're somewhat hot, but they're not what they were in the 80s. Yeah. They were the hottest thing that ever existed in the 80s. Like when this book came out, this was I remember my comic store owner going, "You better buy like 20 copies because this is going to put your kids through college." It was it was a big deal. But like when we were kids, not that it ever got really expensive, but I just think every little key like this, all these number ones, they're just going to be that thing that everyone wants. I don't think this will ever be a $10,000 book in the next 10 years, or some $2,000 book even. But it's going to be a really nice $500 book in a 9.8. It's going to look great in your collection,
and it's going to look great in your bank account if you literally find it for $5. That's the beauty of it, right? Yeah. Again, but Chris, to your point, right? Like
I still collect comics, newbie.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. People still read these things.
Yeah.
No, but like to your point too, because I remember even when like we met and we were talking, right? Like just and especially just like and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like obviously you're older than me, but like even just the gaps, and I'm always interested in like talking to like older collectors about like what were you guys thinking or like picking up back then and things like that. And to your point, like you just said, like these books are going to put your kids through college. Then you fast forward and they're still like,
but think about this. When this came out, it was the first X-Men title to come out since X-Men 1.
Yeah.
Like to like actually come out. And it was and that was the way they were selling it. It's like they haven't done this in 25 years.
Yeah.
This is going to be the next thing. And unfortunately it wasn't a great series at the beginning.
Yeah.
It kind of found its leggings later, but I still bought them all.
I just hate Cyclops, and I just hate these stupid X suits. I said it there. I said it. I just had to get that out of my mind. I didn't know when I was going to say it. I knew I was going to say it. I just didn't know when it was going to say it. But
yeah. But if you're buying this, buy like Iceman #1 and Colossus's first series, and like there's so many of those kind of things.
That's what I've been trying to do. I
was actually just going to talk about. I was going to bring up a spec that Empire has. With Iceman.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say the issue because I still got to find my copy. So I'm not going to say nothing. So you guys got to go follow Empire to know that information. All right, guys. Definitely a book that I think I got it somewhere on my shelf, and I just got it back for a 9.8. But we got Infamous Iron Man #1, still an undervalued book. First appearance of Doom as Iron Man. First appearance of AI Tony Stark. I think that's probably the best bet we're going to get with him. Spiked like crazy. 9.8s were selling anywhere between 350 Canadian. Chris, you lucked out. When I actually told you about the book, you were able to get 2 9.8s like for dirt cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap. $150 for both.
Yeah, it's still it hasn't like it's gone up. It's cooled down. 9.8s now are selling for about 150, but that's the way she goes, right? What goes up must come down. And it'll go back up. But I think this one will go back up shortly. And I think people are sleeping on it, getting rid of it. Definitely a book I would get. As an Iron Man fan, I love the cover. It's black. So I'm keeping my copy. Empire, what are your thoughts on the book, man?
Yeah, I love this book. And I think I might have first started picking up when I first started following your channel. You spoke about it. But I have 2 raw. I got 2 raw and I got 2 sitting at CGC. And whenever I go out there, if I see it, I grab it. Whenever I have a few online shops that I check, daily. If ever I see, it's on my want list. Whenever it pops up, I grab it. So definitely I grab them raw, try to send them out. But if you could get it cheap for a CGC 9.8, what for us over here might be like one something less than 150. Definitely grab it. I got them all raw.
I was picking this book up at $5. Like it was that dirt cheap when I found it. The 9.8 that I got was literally a $3 or $5 book that I found. Like that's just how they were found. And I don't want to say that they're still out there, so you might have a problem grading them raw, and it is black, right? So like you're gonna maybe have some problems, but definitely already slabbed is still pretty cheap. I mean, $150.
Yeah.
If this
and he's coming, I believe he's coming, especially with Riri. Riri's gonna need somebody. Like, how are they gonna bring her in and not have Tony Stark there, like to usher in or something? Like, he's definitely gonna be in there as a AI. Yeah. I think so.
I feel he's coming too, but here's the upside of if he doesn't, it's like everyone's gonna think he's coming. Always, no matter what, this book will always be considered what.
So it'll be the Mephisto book.
Yeah, it'll be like it'll just keep going.
This is a good one.
Whenever there's like a little hint, it's like it'll just pop a little bit more. So I just think there's a lot of energy behind this book, and man, that cover kicks ass. I love it.
But I'm not selling. Are you getting rid of him? I'm holding him.
No, I'm holding.
Okay.
No,
I'm holding.
Yeah, you got to be patient. That's the thing.
Not even for $15.
$15.
No, not. The cat's probably like, what? $15. Drax is in the house. What's going on, Drax? Yes, First Apocalypse and First Archangel still undervalued for sure. Yep. That's issue 6 and 24, I think, right? Everybody's talking about it in the chat. The one in 25 is the one to have in a 9.8. Yeah, it's difficult to find, right? Infamous Iron Man 12 variant with Doom on a horse is a sleeper. I have that one. Plus, I also have cover A of that. And I've actually had a tough time trying to sell that. I was trying to sell it at $10, but I can never find it. So maybe it'll end up on my Whatnot sale. Just saying. All right. Next book.
Ooh.
I want to give a big shout out to somebody who 0 people might know. His name is Kevin Taylor. He is from Australia, I believe, and probably a big Riri fan. And we were talking about this book, and I kid you not, on my, I don't know, any collection I have, the man told me to pick this book up so long ago. I think it was even way before my YouTube debut. And he said, hey, man, because before then, people still called me by my first name. They didn't call me Newbie. He was like, hey, man, you should get this book. And I was like, I don't know. At the time, 9.8s were literally like $40 for this book. When the Ironheart show was released, this book really popped. 9.8s reached almost $450 Canadian. Currently, they're selling anywhere between 160 to 200 Canadian. But once she shows up again, she's showing up in Black Panther 2. She's got her own show. She's going to be in probably Armor Wars. So there's 3 chances to everything pop. You look at her first appearance. You look at the variant. They are out there. That variant for number 9, that blue and pink one, it is a $5,000 to $9,000 book now. Her first appearance is literally a $4,000 book. So you got to start doing the latter. I think this one's a really good one. Empire, I got 2 copies of this in 9.8. Do you have any copies?
I got one, but not a 9.8. I got one raw that I've been waiting to send out. But I'm seeing, is this really still selling under 200 and 9.8?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm looking at one right now, and I don't want to tell anybody where it is. I'm looking at one on an auction, and it's literally maybe got a day left, and it's at like $35. So I'm like,
what? That's crazy. I would think everybody would have been jumping on this by now. Because like you said, you got her show, you got Wakanda. They confirmed that she's gonna be on.
They confirmed that she's showing up in Black Panther 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then who knows? She might be in the the Wakanda TV show. I think they might do. And then her show, definitely. I don't know how.
Armor Wars. There's so many possibilities. The Spike. Yeah.
They're gonna push this hard. So I mean, if you can find it out there for cheap, definitely get it. I mean, I'm surprised that it's only going for 200 at the high. That's crazy, man. That's definitely undervalued. 100%.
Her appearing in Black Panther 2 first, I think, is huge. Unlike Miss Marvel starting off her own show. Yes. And Swag, I've had that conversation pretty much every day since that Miss Marvel trailer basically came out, where people are like, oh, this is going to be the same thing that happens to Riri. False. I don't think so, man. No. I really don't. Chris, what are your thoughts on the book? What are your thoughts on Swag's comment there?
I always believe that a character, there's like a few keys. There's always the first appearance, maybe first cover appearance, and there's always the first issue. And so a lot of collectors like to have those 3 things. And I think it just falls right into there. She becomes a hot person in the MCU. It looks like they're kind of touting her to be that. This is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you buy this? Like, yeah, get it.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. It's super cheap. Like it seems really cheap.
There's also a 1 in 25.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you guys know about that. There's a decal one. I own it. It's actually right. Man, this is so hard. Swag's always like, "Hey, here's my book." I'm always jealous when he does that, but like, yeah, it's right there. It's a 1 in 25.
There's an alarm going off. I gotta take off here for a sec.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, sorry.
I was wondering if that was like me or my neighbor project.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time.
I just thought it was upstairs because I've been hearing all kind of stuff.
But even the 1 in 25 has really gone down in price. Like the 1 in 25 was selling for anywhere between like 1,400 and 1,800 when she was announced, that the show was announced. And now all of a sudden you go look at that book, even raw, that book is only selling for like $300-400. So it's only a matter of time. And I think people are sleeping on the whole Riri stuff. I really think people are going to regret doing, especially for an investment. I think you're just giving away free money right now.
100%, man. I'm still shocked that it's so low, because I saw the only one I ever saw in person. I grabbed. I've never seen it anywhere out there.
Dude, I'm so jealous, man. When Swag was on this show last time with me and Chris, we were talking backstage, and Chris was just like, "Yeah, man. So like, what the book?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, this one, boom, yeah, this," and he was like spot on with it. And I'm trying to I'm like, "Where's the fucking like?" It is. So kudos to you, man. You make it look easy. So I think there's a second print too. You are absolutely correct. That one would be pretty good to find as well. I know Tim is ready for Riri, but again, and there's just a lot of people who don't have patience for it, right? You sometimes got to remember why you buy certain books, especially for like an investment purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Black Panther's coming out in November. All you have to do is wait. Why would you give out free money right now? You know what I mean? Like, it's
just hold it and wait, man. For real. If anybody has it now and they're trying to get rid of it, that's dumb. Because this gonna it's gonna explode, man.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll buy these all day 9.8 at like $100-150.
For real.
I'd be okay.
I would honestly. I thought this was going for like 300 by now.
Dude, I am shocked. Hey,
man. Sorry, the house next door has an alarm and somebody set it off accidentally.
Oh, okay. I honestly thought it was mine, and I thought I had to go. No. I was like, oh, I could probably hear my wife being like, "Come here."
But I'm that guy in the neighborhood. Like if anyone's stealing anything, I'm like there with a shovel, like ready to kill someone, because I hate thieves. So not that we have that ever, but
I live in a nice area too.
Yeah, I've always heard growing up that Canadians don't even lock their front door.
It's almost the case.
No, man.
Where I live, it almost is.
Yeah. See, that's what we
hear. I'll lock my front door, but like my car might not be, unless you're my neighbor watching me creepily. Like I lock my car. So, let's stick with Riri for a second. But we got Ironheart #1. Now this one's got another variant. I think is a Ramos variant. That is.
I hate that cover, by the way.
This one or the Ramos?
This one here. Look at how fucked up she looks in this. I don't know. It just looks so weird to me. She looks like a giraffe or something.
Her neck.
Sorry, I just had to point that out. Ruin the book for
everyone. Oh man, there's the Ramos variant, the one where she's taking a selfie and like giving the peace sign as she's like flying in the air. It's a great book to have. That one is about $50 raw, or at least it was last fall. I don't know where that one falls now, but first solo series, first appearance of Andre Sims, possible villain. His name's been popping up a lot here and there. Raw copies for this one, not 20 to 25. They're actually about 15 to 25, so a little cheaper. Watch out for the variant cover. Like I said, 9/8 of this book are still selling anywhere between about $150. I just saw one sell actually for $102 Canadian on an auction. So you could score them, but again, you got to find those deals and you got to find places outside of eBay. You might score one. And again, unless you're an Ironheart fan, I mean, this is strictly probably just going to be an investment, but there are people out there that, look at $100 as like, that's my investment money for the week or the month. This one's a good play, still super undervalued. And like Chris said, people will go after first appearance, first cover, first solo, first this, first that.
What was the other book that you just showed us?
Invincible Iron Man 1.
That's her first cover, right?
Yeah, that's the first cover of her in the armor. There's like a bunch of shit. And Mel V and those guys will get into it. I get into it too because #1, here, I'll go back to it. Do you notice how it says Riri Williams is Ironheart in this. Okay, but this isn't her in the Ironheart suit, and she's actually not named Ironheart until issue 3. But people say, no, this is the book because it says Ironheart right there.
Wait. So you're saying that's not her on the cover?
No, it's her in the suit, but it's not. That's not the Riri armor, right?
Okay.
This is the Riri armor. It changes a few times. If you look at number 3 in issue number 3, the 1 in 25, she is there with the armor. I've got it right there. I had to turn around and do it, so I cheated, but right there. But what people don't realize, and one of the biggest arguments is that people think that number 1 is actually the first call, the name call, and I think that's pretty important. But it's actually issue number 3 because you kind of got to open the book and read it, and there's a reason why she's called Ironheart, and it's in number 3, and that's why number 3 is actually very valuable, especially the 1 in 25 because you don't come across them. I'm hoping to make that 1 in 25 like a $2,000 book. I swear to God, I am, because it's hard to find. But Empire, what do you think about the book, man?
I don't have this one. I'll be honest. I wasn't even looking for this one. I know it's her first solo series, but like Vancouver said, it's just that cover, man. Her neck looks. It's something about it. I mean, if I found it out there like for like $20, I'll definitely will pick it up if it was a good copy and send it off to CGC. Anything Ironheart right now, I will grab it way soon. You want to get it before all that more news for Wakanda and Black Panther 2 comes out. So if you're into her, pick it up. I just didn't have it. I didn't pick this one.
Chris, how do you feel about the giraffe?
I'm not a big fan of the giraffe, but I feel the exact same way as Empire. There's not a word I could add to it. It's just like, yep.
Here's the thing too.
Answer. Yep.
Here's the thing too, right? Nemesis Prime is saying, oh, that's the Chris Anka. Yeah, the Anka 1 in 25 for number 3 is huge. I love it. If you've never seen it, I will post a picture. I don't want to get up and grab it, but I will post a picture. It is probably one of my favorite covers. And obviously I'm biased because it's Iron Man. But guys, let's just do some quick math here, okay? Because it doesn't matter what character, and people have said this about Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel that just came out, right? Like this happens with every character. No matter if you like it or not, you're going to get on the train. But she is rumored to appear, the rumor was confirmed she's going to be appearing in Black Panther 2. Black Panther 2 is coming out in November. We are basically at the end of March, basically April. So we got April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We got 8 months.
You better fast track if you're going to CGC right now to get those back in time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is though, if you think that it's a waste and you just want to get them graded, a 9.8 under $200 for something that's coming, I think is a good investment right off the hop. But you got 8 months. That means in about 3 to 4 months' time, they're probably going to drop more, footage, pictures, possibly a trailer, something.
Yep.
And then the books are just going to explode. You got small window. Every day that passes on Riri, you're losing time, man, because it's going to explode. So don't sleep on it. Just saying.
I was just looking at the second printing looks a whole lot better than that one. Even the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 50 look better than this one. But I will go for the second printing.
Yeah, this one's a little different, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've passed this one up many times in the wild where I'm like, I hate this cover. So
Iron Neck, RP said.
All right, one of my favorite Iron Neck. Oh shit, that's gonna be something.
Yeah.
All right, we got Champions number 1, guys, and I just got my Champions back from CGC at 9.8. First appearance, obviously, of the Champions. This is probably going to be one of the groups that we see in the future. Obviously, they're getting some of these characters, right? Miles, Miss Marvel. We've got Sam Alexander, we've got Riri, right? I can't remember the rest. Locust, whatever. Torres, I think, is in it too. This one is dropped, right? So at the height of it, it was going for about $350, $400 Canadian. Currently, anywhere between actually 120 to 180, depending. So I saw one sell on the higher end around 180, and then I saw one on the lower end sell for about 115, right? Don't sleep on this one because this one's going to be a good one to have down the line. I know the argument that people make. Is it this one? Is it Young Avengers? I don't think you can compare the both. I think Young Avengers is obviously up there for a reason. This one, is it going to be a $10,000 book like Chris says? No. Is it going to be a $20,000 book? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. But it could be a nice book to have, especially on the investment side. It could reach up there $500-$600. You never know. There's also different prints for this one as well, so be on the lookout for those. Empire, what do you think?
Yo, I love this book. When I first started back into comics and speculating on that, and I was grabbing this. I have about 6 or 7 raw, and I have a few at CGC because I don't know, something about, I've never even read it because when I came back into comics that passed, but something about it, the cover and the kids, and I always felt like, man, they're gonna push this, and I always grabbed it when I saw it. I think I have a second print as well.
That's actually pretty badass. To find the second print, it's pretty badass.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember which other ones I had because I know I've always tried to grab it when I saw it out there. And then the LCS that I was using back in Florida when I first went in there, I know the first day that I was looking, I found like 4 copies of that, and I grabbed all 4 of them. So I have a few. I don't know if you guys saw, I have a submission about like 100 and something, maybe 101 book or something in CGC. Yes. And there's a few of these in there. So once that comes back, hopefully soon, you'll see me put them up somewhere because I love this book.
Chris,
don't sleep on it.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I love everyone who loves this book, but I think you're all fucked in the head. I don't understand this book. It's like, it's the first appearance of this version of the Champions. Why don't you just go buy the one from the 70s? It's the first appearance of the Champions.
Yeah, but that's not as cool, man. This one's
no, cool. This one got Miles. You know what I mean? I think it's because of who's in this. You got Kamala, Miles. You got
I guess
Sam Alexander.
So I guess the first appearance of that team. I guess, but I just can't see this being like done in the MCU. There's so many teams. It's like how many?
In about 15 years.
Maybe. Okay. 10. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But they start running out of shit to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They're like, do we want to do Champions now?
Yeah. Or maybe a Disney Plus series. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what
I get it. I can't feel the love for it. But I don't love this era book that much. So I'm not the right guy to ask.
But because you figure you have Kamala Khan's already coming. She's here. I should say. They say we're gonna get Sam Alexander. I really feel like we'll get him. Miles. We're going to get Miles. So, I mean, that's 3 of them right there. Amadeus Cho.
Amadeus Cho, yeah. He's another one. Joaquin Torres is in it, right? So,
I could see this, like, even if they don't, once we get a bunch of them in the MCU, I could see this book shooting just because they're in the MCU. Just like Young Avengers started shooting up last year when they started dropping, a few of the characters in there, like, what's his name? The dude from like Patriot and Hawkeye and all that. So once they start dropping more, I feel like this will start shooting up because people start thinking, let me grab this book because they might do it. So,
by hearing you talk and just thinking about it a bit, this feels like a comic collector's book too. Like it's not just a spec book. It's going and raising in value because people love this book. And I've heard this before from other people. That's a good thing, I think, long term. So. Yeah, maybe I'll go buy a few. I don't know. 15.
Viv as well. We forgot Viv.
There you go.
Viv. There is still a following for Viv, and people thinking that she's going to be showing up. So yeah, but I agree with you, Chris. I get it. The 1975 Champions #1. Why wouldn't you get that? Yeah, I just think that
because honestly, you could get a really nice copy for the same price.
Yeah. I've seen pretty high grades on my comic shop go for nothing basically. So yeah, it's not a bad book. Who's the one that put me off that book, Chris? Is actually Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah,
he brought out his numbers.
And he's like, man, and I was like, oh, okay, man, yeah. So I guess I won't get it.
I know, he kills me sometimes.
Shout out to Ryan, by the way, Automatic Comics. He'll be on the show next week because he's back on with Keys to Still Invest. So be on the lookout for that.
And he's smarter than all of us. I'm just gonna throw it on the table. He knows.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
That's why we hate him.
He makes a lot of the things I do. Like, what kills me is like I'll be so happy and I'll be like, man, I just flipped or sold the book for like $100 and I got $150 profit, and he'll be like, oh, that's cute, and I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? Or I'll be like, hey man, I just got Champions #1 9.8, and he's like, yeah, I got this like 1930 first appearance of a comic book in a 7.0. And I'm like,
I know the shit has been shown lately to us. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's but he's a friend of the channel, and yeah, man, he's so knowledgeable, man. I appreciate everything and all the advice he gives. So, all right, guys. Speaking of Sam Alexander, Chris, I can't wait to hear your opinion of this. But point one, number one, it's always confusing, tongue twister for sure. I hate this title. First appearance of Sam Alexander, spiked with Feige's statement. So if you guys remember a few months ago, rather, he came out and basically said, see, I told you. I said, I can't wait for Chris to talk about this book, and then he just leaves.
I didn't even realize he stepped out. Holy shit.
But Feige basically did say, Sam Alexander and Richard Rider were coming, right? So this book kind of spiked, reached about 400 Canadian, currently selling for $500 Canadian. So that's insane that it's still up there. Has dropped a little bit. Sometimes you can find this for $250. I was just at Toronto Comic-Con and they were selling it at $450 Canadian, as well as that variant that everybody's going after. So you got one of two things. I bought my 9.8 for $112 Canadian. So I'm happy there. Empire, what do you think of Sam Alexander, man?
Bro, he's coming. I got a few raw of this one. This is another book that when I see it, I grabbed it. I have it on my comic shop, like that want list before it was taken off, and I was grabbing them there too. So anything, this is what I think when it comes to like the next gen heroes like Sam Alexander versus the other one. I feel like what they're gonna do when it comes to a lot of these guys is they're gonna use like Sam Alexander and have Richard Rider as like the older guy that might come around and like help him out or something like that, but not. It's gonna be Nova. Sam Alexander is gonna be the main Nova. That's what I think. They're gonna. Oh shit! Yeah.
That excited.
Yeah.
Chris,
I actually just got a 9.8 in this. I was trying to find it actually, so like got it last week. But I love this book. I think it's great. I still think that Dick Ryder is going to be our Nova at first.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that Sam Alexander is coming. No question. At some point. I just think Dick Ryder will be our Nova for a little while. And I just want to say the word Dick Ryder again.
Chris, do you is your 9.8 like graded, or are you saying you have a 9.8
graded? I just got it back from CGC. 9.8.
Do you have the printing error that's on it, the blue line, or no?
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. That's why I was trying to find it.
Mine is got the blue line, and I think that's like a little bit more rare. Well, I don't know.
Where's the blue line?
The blue line is.
I never even noticed that.
I just point at it from there. We'll see it.
So if you look at the mouse, it's literally like right here. It's this huge line right here.
I'll take a look later when
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same. I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, I have a few raws of this too, and I absolutely believe in this book, but again, I think it's more longer term than it is like. Whereas I think when Nova gets announced, I think it's going to be Dick Ryder. So.
See, for somebody like me though, I think it would be, even if I sold it now, I'm like, because I bought it for 112, and if they're selling for 450, I mean, it's not a bad, investment.
I need more 9.8s back just because this is a keeper book for me. This will be in my PC for a long time.
Really? You're that?
I'm a huge Cosmic guy. I love Cosmic.
Oh, okay. I was gonna because in the book before you were just you were bashing these guys. So
yeah, no, but I like this character. I like all Cosmic stuff. So
all right, well, you're definitely gonna like this next pick then.
Sweet.
But hear me out on it first, okay? Because I think some people might be like, another undervalued book in the 9.8 is Supervillain Galactus #1. Hear me out. Same reason that Superheroes 20 for Dr. Doom is one of those big ones. You got to look at the character in itself. Super popular character, super popular villain, right? A lot of people like this character. A lot of us are hoping this character comes, but let's look at the first appearance. Let's look at the first full appearance. So FF48, FF49, those are super, super, super expensive books, right? Not a lot of people can get them. So this is a character that you kind of just do that ladder thing, right? Where you go to the next book. You got FF75 with the classic cover. You got FF243, that John Byrne cover. That's really good. But this one, I think, is probably the third or fourth best Galactus book to have. And the 9.8, they're still selling under $350, which is still a good catch. Raw copies you can find anywhere between $10 and $25. Don't forget, there are newsstand edition copies out there as well. I have 3 copies of this. I didn't even know that 2 of them were newsstand. That's how, I just pick them up and I was like, oh shit. So I was really, surprised to have that. They do go for a little bit more money, but nevertheless, this is a sweet ass cover, especially if you're like Chris, super cosmic. I really like this cover. And if you've ever seen this cover, really high grade, especially slabbed, it's a beautiful book, man. Like, I love this book. And what do you think, man?
I'm a big fan of Galactus. I've always was when I first got into comics. I don't have this one. I would love this one for myself, for my PC. It's just a great cover. The fact that this is his first solo like title or book, right? So yeah. The other two, for most people, that's going to be way out of reach. So why not grab this one for the low? You know what I'm saying? And if you get a few, send them in. Definitely grab this one, man.
The other two, sorry to correct myself, thanks Drax, is Thor 168, 169, right? But even those ones have gotten really expensive as well. I have two at CGC right now. I'm hoping to get like 6.5, 7.0s in those. But yeah, Chris, what do you think about this book, man? Especially the cosmic guy.
I love it. I mean, I think I've been picking this up for a couple of years, and whenever I see it, I grab it if it's in high grade. But the reason I love it is this: it's a cool book, and it brings me back to my childhood because I remember this as a kid. But
yeah,
the other thing is that his first appearance is so expensive, and Empire mentioned this already. It's like Hulk 181 is going to get so out of price that Marvel Presents 72 may be the only thing that an average person is going to be able to get in a high grade.
Yeah,
to play in that Wolverine key. And this might play into that as well. That kind of everything that is like his origin, like actual Dracula brought up 168 and 169 of Thor. Those books are getting expensive too. And they're going to go through the roof when he shows up, whenever that may be. And I just think this is a wonderful opportunity right now to get raw copies right now.
Yeah. I
get them now or you're not getting them.
I had like 10 copies of this. I sold 7 of them just because I was finding them for like $5 and like people were offering me like 40. So I was like, yeah, sure. Right. And they weren't high grade or anything like that. So like I was okay letting them go, but I'm trying to use that money to buy myself a nice 9.8. I just haven't been able to find like the right opportunity. Just simply because in the last like 2-3 years of looking for this book, I haven't been able to find a 9.8 candidate in the wild. So,
and this actually lit up like over the last year, like a year prior to that, the 9.8s were nothing.
Yeah,
like you get this for nothing. No one gave a shit.
I'm big on picking up like little mini series, little runs, like #1 issues, like we were talking about before. Like I went ahead and I tried to grab all the like X-Men ones, like Rogue One, Colossus One, and the same with these. When you can find stuff like that, it's cheap. Why not grab it? They're gonna, people just go down that ladder. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's what you got to do, man. It's the ladder effect.
One I'd recommend to everyone, and you can get it for nothing still, is Thing #1 from the 80s.
Yes,
it's cheap as shit, and it's just sitting in no one cares. Buy those.
Yeah, it's true, man. I do want to ask both of you guys a question. Do you guys own this book?
No.
No? Okay. Do you guys own Marvel Superheroes 20?
Yeah.
The one with Doom?
Yeah. Have you ever, I mean, you can't answer because you don't have this one, but Chris, have you ever put those two books beside each other?
I have not.
I put those two books beside each other one day where I was like going through my books and stuff, and I just had them on the back here of my stand and right beside each other. And man, I got to tell you, those two books beside each other are fucking beautiful, man. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Like it is beautiful to have both of those books right beside.
You're gonna make me go out there and want to buy it.
Yeah, like do yourself a favor. Like just put them beside each other and just like stand back. It's beautiful art. You got both massive, FF and just villains, and very popular. So yeah, I recommend if you have both, just do it for fun, man. They look good.
Oh yeah.
Hood Rat Comics is in the house. What's going on? All right, guys. Final book. As my guy Just Cruz says, always bet Asian. He's Asian, so that's probably why he says it. But nevertheless, guys, we got New Agents of Atlas #1, Asian teams, future. Like I said, bet on Asian, just like Just Cruz says. Spiked prior and after Shang-Chi, obviously, because this book has a few first appearances. Currently selling for $200, and Chris has holy shit. Okay, all of those are 9.8s.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have 3 more coming too.
I'm jelly for real.
They were cheap though, man. Like these were like $5, $10, like 6 months ago.
Yeah, and 9/8s currently are about $180 Canadian. So that is basically nothing. I know Mr. Dave Mason at the con that we just went picked up a 9/8 for $150 Canadian. So they are dropping.
Oh yeah, no, they are. I've been watching.
Yeah. You got to be careful. I like some of the variants, and some like the 1 in 25 is just super out there. It's a very expensive book, but like
and issue 2 is worth a lot more.
Yes, I was just
for Swordmaster.
Yeah, that one's at CGC. Fingers crossed it's a 9/8, man. Fingers crossed it's 9/8. I'm hoping to get it back by like June, July. So fingers fucking.
That's
crossed.
in our box, isn't it?
No, that's in a different box.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for that book to come back. But yeah, this one is still slept on. I feel like people just forgot about it. Like Shang-Chi's not around. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. But like this has got a lot of first appearances, and there is one appearance that sticks out. I can't remember her name.
Wave.
Yeah, Wave. That's what it is. So yeah, I just think that a lot of people are sleeping. And again, a 9/8 for less than $200. You can't go wrong if you don't want to spend the money or the time to go and find a raw one in the wild. Empire. I just got one. Chris has got like 6. How many do you have?
I have one, but this is the thing. When this book first came out, I didn't pick it up. When it first came out, I didn't really know about it. But when I think it was maybe like the second or third day, I went back to my shop. Now, I remember I used to be in Central Florida, and the spot where I was at, those stores were always tapped out. I mean, there would be people on New Comic Book Day lined up outside to go in. So, I mean, it's hard to get stuff. So I was lucky enough to find this just in the back issues. I was just digging, and it was only like maybe a few weeks after its release, and I found one for like $10, grabbed it, and I still have it. I'm holding it. I'm gonna probably send it off with my next batch, but to CGC. I also just got the original, not the regular Agents of Atlas. I just picked up 2 of those as well. Like you said, anything Asian right now they're gonna push that too. So yeah, I like this book.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it has opportunities, but I got them graded simply because $5 and they were $200 when I got them graded. Now they're $150, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to sell anytime soon. It's not enough money to do worth it for me. So I'm going to let it sit around for a bit and see what happens.
I think it's not in our face or anything like that, but if people remember, right, what was going on with Shang-Chi and everything like that, this book exploded. The 1 in 25 is, I can't remember who's on the cover, but it's got like the Filipino flag in the background. That is like in 9/8. I think at one point it was like $3,000 Canadian. I remember seeing it at a con for about like $1,700 or maybe $2,500, somewhere around there. Wow. But it is a very hard book to find. If you ever find that one in the wild, probably pinch yourself because you're in a dream. But it is just a hard one. I would hold on to this as a very long-term hold for myself as well. You never know. Shang-Chi's coming back, right? So you never know when one of these characters could pop, especially with the martial arts stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
Street level, you never know. Marvel wants to do, all these minority groups and female, like you just never know. And Nemesis Prime is saying, Luna Snow as well. So
yeah, Luna Snow, that's a good book right there.
A few people are saying also don't sleep on that third print as well. I know Mr. Black Crown Comics is big on that one. Mr. King of the Golden State, get that third print, fellas. Yeah, that's right. Thanks for joining us, man. Steve Bradley's in the house. What's going on? So yeah, that's definitely a really good book. Now I gotta ask you guys, is there a book on this list that you maybe want to add that you think is an undervalued 9/8 just off the top of your head?
Repeat that again. What did he say?
Is there a 9/8 book right now that you think that is undervalued that maybe you want to let people know about?
I don't want to let nobody know what I'm doing. No, I'm kidding.
Turok 1.
Yeah, right. Let me think about that one.
Mighty Avengers #1.
Any what?
Mighty Avengers one?
#1.
The one that has Luke Cage and on the cover with the first when they gave what's her name? Her name Spectrum or something.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I think it's really cheap in 9/8.
I think it's $180 to $200. At the con, they were selling them for about $220.
Were they actually selling them? Yeah, exactly. So I've been noticing they're about $130 right now.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got it here.
Yeah.
So that's cheap. That's
but when
cheap.
she shows up on May 6th, it's game over because that book is going to be a $500 book.
It could be. Yeah, absolutely. Or when she shows up in Marvels, or like there's a lot of cosmic stuff coming, guys.
Yeah.
That's again another book that I would hold. See, that's the thing. You start holding, you got to have patience. You have to have patience and room to actually hold this stuff down, right?
Yeah. When you sit in a room there, you got a lot of room.
Yeah, I got a pretty good room, but I've been told, like in the future, like my office would be like a baby room or something. So who knows?
Comics before kids, bro. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck kids. Yeah.
Oh man,
I have 2, so I shouldn't.
I've got 0. I got my Iron Man 1 and my Tales of Suspense 40. That's about it.
Those are your babies right there, right?
I always tell I got bigger books, and I always tell my wife, because my wife's like, if there's a fire, what would you grab, right? She's like, would you grab the TV or would you? And I'm like,
fuck that.
My sneakers and my books. And she just looks at me and she's like, what about me? And I'm like, nah. I mean, you got legs, so
you're right. I was gonna say
she'll figure it out on her own. She's gonna be grabbing books too.
That's what you should have said. You should be behind me grabbing books with me.
Oh man.
There was a mention Blade 1 is undervalued as well. I couldn't agree more. I think that book in a 9.8, and I'd buy it only in a 9.8 because raws go for stupid money and they're almost never 9.8s. Buy the 9.8. I think it's under $400 US.
So I got a 9.6, and here's my story with 9.6. We were finishing Eternals, and obviously that end credit happened. If you haven't seen it, I'm not spoiling it, and if you label me as a spoiler, I mean, the movie came out in fucking November, okay? Yeah. So I literally was like, right? Because I knew the voice. Like, I knew it was him. And I actually had my wife drive us home because I had to go on eBay and I had to go on and like look for it. And I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to get Tomb of Dracula. I'm going to go after Blade 1. And literally the 9.6 was like $175, $178 shipped. And Canadian? I got it. The guy shipped it like a day later. It got to my house like 4 days later.
Nice.
Now all of a sudden 9.6 is almost like $600.
Wow.
It is
$600.
Because I've been noticing 9.8s around 400 US.
I saw 9.8s or 9.6s selling for like 9.6s, and then I saw a sold for about like $495
US. Wow. Huh.
So even a 9.6, because again though, Chris, like you look at Tomb of Dracula, it's getting up there, right? Like it's even in lower grades, it's reaching that 2K 1,500. Like it's around there, right? So
yeah,
it's
I definitely love that book. So
yeah, what grade is yours?
It's only a 7.0. I have a raw copy. I got it.
Only a 7.0.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm old enough to remember owning like a 9.4 of this and letting it go.
How long have you been collecting?
Well, I mean, since the early 80s when I was a little kid, but I stopped for a lot of years.
Little kid in the 80s. Okay.
I was a little kid in the 80s. Hey, man,
I was a little kid in the 80s.
I was born in 1973.
Oh, jeez. Sneakers my ass. You're grabbing flip-flops. You're damn right, man. You're damn right. I think Blade will be bigger than Moon Knight, but that's because I loved Wesley. I just think I agree with you, man. Lux, I 100% agree. Yeah, I think so.
Unless they fuck it up. They haven't really fucked anything up except for the Eternals.
Did they really fuck it up, or that's just how the Eternals are?
I don't know,
man. It's not the Eternals I read. It just I just found it's you know what? I was having a conversation about the Eternals with someone recently, and when I think of that show, all I think about are people hugging each other in windy surroundings.
Yo, there was a sex scene in that, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, it was so awkward. That was so awkward, man.
Wasn't it?
Why the sex scene was so awkward. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see someone else do another one.
Like the sex scene or Internals?
Sex scene, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see like a more Kirby-esque version of and make it cosmic the way it should be.
I think too, like a lot of people didn't. I think a lot of people who didn't know what comics were went into that being like, "What the fuck is it?" You know, and like it was very slow, but like you had to have gone in there thinking like, you know, at least I did. going in there knowing like, okay, they're probably going to like explain a lot of things in here, which they did, right? Like if you go back and watch it now, you're going to probably come across some things that you might have missed, or you're like, oh, okay. But there was a lot of things that they like touched on, and a lot of things that they, kind of like answered. And
there's some good stuff in it, but man, it's
overall, you mean like it was
as a whole, it's just a big.
But it was beautiful to look at, and like he said, it gave a lot of information and all that.
Listen, I'm gonna give it my worst rating ever. 12 thumbs up.
12 thumbs up. It's pretty solid.
That's a Simpsons reference if anybody gets it. I'm giving this my worst rating ever. 8 thumbs up. What the hell is that? Oh man. But yeah, I don't know, man. Eternals are going to be around. They'll probably fix it.
I think they will.
Yeah. So we'll see.
If it, DC says if it was a Selma Hayek sex scene in it, would have been my favorite MCU movie ever. I could agree with that.
Agreed.
And
but you see, you know how right now they're doing that whole Eternals versus X-Men versus Avengers coming soon. I always feel like when they start doing stuff now in comics, it's because eventually they're gonna try to do something in the movies with it. So they're gonna bring them back. You know what I mean? So
I think so. Oh yeah, for sure.
Just before we say our goodbyes, did you guys catch the what Luxor said? So Midnight Suns is also a spec to look at. Very undervalued book. So you got Ghost Rider 28 and 31, but Oscar Isaac just recently, I don't know if it's leaked, but he was having an interview and they asked him, and it was in Spanish, obviously because he was in Europe, but they asked him basically like, hey, who would you like to have Moon Knight paired up with? And his answer was Midnight Suns.
I heard that.
So something, nothing. What are your thoughts here?
I don't know. For a guy who doesn't know anything about comics, as he says, that he knows about it, somebody fucking said something to him already. Yeah.
So I don't know. But Chris, I will say this though. In the article that they were doing the work, they actually referenced Ghost Rider 31, not 28. And I know that you're a big fan of 28, just as I am, right?
Dude, I have more 31s than I have 28. I was buying that thing like a motherfucker at the beginning.
They were like nothing books. They were like $1 book.
Still nothing. Right? Like they're $5. I think that book's going to turn around. I really do. When people realize what it is. So it's cheap. It just has a really ugly cover.
No, let me see if I'm trying to remember. I thought there was a. I'm trying to find it while we're talking, but I thought there was another iteration of the Midnight Suns or something like in a Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Oof, and the cover has like Morbius, and it was like a newer version of or a different version of the Midnight Suns, because there's a few different versions of
there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. Like they don't always have to follow the comics, right? They don't always have to make the teams we think. So who knows what adaptation? There are some different teams that they're looking that have Midnight Suns that are out there for super cheap. Like the Spirits of Vengeance is one of them, right? So there's a few. There was something that I was going to end on. Oh, final thought before we leave, actually. Chris, you're going to really like this one. But what do you guys think about Harry Potter becoming Wolverine? Because that was news. That's been news for the last like 2-3 days now.
Really? I thought that was news like last year.
I don't believe it's true though.
I can't see it.
Well, I believe anything because he's a really good actor, genuinely. And all they have to do is pump him up with like a shitload of steroids like they did to the rest of the MCU. And no, seriously. And just give him the right hair.
Probably hard work, dedication, and diet, okay?
Wow. It's a lot easier when you got a team of guys surrounding you for a year.
I found it right there. That's the one with Midnight Suns.
Yeah. I've actually talked about that book as one of my specs. So yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah.
But I don't think he'll be I think Taron Egerton's going to be Wolverine.
Yeah, the guy from Kingsman. Yeah,
or someone we never heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't see Wolverine wearing glasses, man. I can't do it. No.
Or having a wand,
because he's exactly like Harry Potter,
right? That's the thing, though. He's played Harry Potter. He's Harry Potter. Anytime you see that kid, he's Harry Potter. So like, it's gonna be hard if he is Wolverine to like not laugh in a way, unless they do something drastic, like you said, pump him up, and I mean they got to make him look totally different. If not, I'm always gonna see Harry Potter with claws.
Yeah. Listen, that's what happens with me with Robert Downey Jr. If you were next to me when I was watching Dr. Doodle or whatever,
I was just gonna say that,
man. One, I have not finished watching that movie because part of me, my brain was like, when is Jarvis gonna kick in? Like where are the suit? Like it's literally, but that's just in my mind, right? Like you're literally like, okay, this is the guy, this is who I know, and then you see him in other roles, and you're like, where the fuck is the suit? Where's the money? Where's Pepper? You know, so like it's one of those. So I can definitely agree with you. But again, I mean, they're going to get somebody, right? And I think regardless of what happens with whoever they cast, it's going to be 50-50. There's people that are going to like it. There's people that are not going to like it. There's people that are going to make fun. And that's just what's going to happen, right?
You know, I would like them to get a short guy just so it can be comic accurate. That's what I would like. Because I mean, Hugh Jackman was the great Wolverine, but the motherfucker's like 6 foot tall or something like that. You know
6'2".
Yeah.
Hey,
I want a little short Wolverine kicking ass. You know,
the guy they should have had is currently Venom.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy would have killed it,
right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they could do it. Maybe you could.
Marvel's been pretty good at casting, genuinely. So I think whoever they choose is going to be pretty solid. Yeah. So
maybe it's Justin Bieber. Who knows? You never know.
I honestly, there's a lot of guys that could pull it off that you wouldn't even think of. Like acting.
Black.
Hey, Shay, newbie's Canadian. He got the facial hair. What's up?
Yeah,
throw your hat in it.
Yeah, but I'm more Latino. I mean, I got the, you know, but that's pretty much it, man. I don't know if I got the chops for it, but we'll see. Gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for hopping on. I do want to give some time to you to basically let the YouTube world know where they can find you. Mr. Chris, Vancouver Comic Junkie. Let the people know where they can find you, man.
Oh, I'm on IG, Vancouver Comic Junkie. I'm on YouTube, Vancouver Comic Junkie. I've been very tardy with my channel, but I've been doing a lot of sit-ins with a bunch of people. I just did a video with Comic Ozzy today as well. So this is a big day to do videos for me. And I have a whole bunch of CGC unboxing videos I have to do, but I just haven't had the time because I just started some more new work, and yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, I promise to have some videos soon.
All right, man. All right. Yeah. Don't forget IG as well, guys, on Instagram, Vancouver Comic Junkie. Empire. Let the people know, because some people got scared when you basically took like a week and a half off, man.
Yeah,
so let
man.
them know.
I disappeared for 2 weeks, and people thought I went MIA. But nah, you can find me on YouTube, whatnot, Instagram. Everything is Empire_Comics, Empire with a Y. I just had like 2 or 3 videos I threw out last week, some CGC unboxings, some spec buys. I finally finished editing that big, like I had like about $1,000 worth of books up, dollar bin books that I finally finished editing it. So that should be on after we're done here. I'm going to maybe upload it, and then I'm going to unbox these in the next day or 2. So that video will be up. And I think I have a CGC coming. It should be coming soon, because it's already done over there. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting for them to ship it. Yeah. So just follow me if you want to see some dollar bin specs, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. That's my favorite kind of spec.
You got a lot of great spec, man. I appreciate you sharing it with me too. I'm always appreciative. So I appreciate you. I appreciate both of you guys for hopping on. This will be the last time I leave YouTube, as next week when I'm on, I will officially be a comic vendor, because I'll be doing my first show with Mr. Comic Ozzy. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully any community members that are around, come say hi. We don't bite. I might have some candy there, but don't take it. That's just for me. Other than that, guys, Sunday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be rocking and rolling in the newbieverse. And then back again next Tuesday with Mr. Ryan, Automatic Comics, with keys to still invest in. So those are always fun. Any last words, gentlemen, before we head off?
I got a whatnot sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. Follow me, bookmark it. I'm gonna have a lot of books you've seen me post on IG today. A bunch of variant books, some CGC slabs. I'm just trying to catch up on the weeks I missed.
I have no idea what he said about whatnot, because I'm still learning about it. But
man, he said that. I thought I was on mute when he said that. I was like,
that would be awesome. We're all nodding our heads.
Yeah.
But in 2 weeks, probably, I will officially become familiar with all the lingo of whatnot. So yeah, make sure you guys go check out the whatnot channel for Empire, and don't forget. Oh man, I'm trying to be as good as swag. Whatnot in Canada. So make sure you guys go check it out. Chris, any last words, sir?
Read comics.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I'm gonna make that my like ending.
That's a good one.
All right, guys, later. Read comics.
Keep spegging, right?
All right, guys. Chat, thank you so much. We were holding it down with 65 throughout, so I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us on this Tuesday evening, or as I like to call it, New Comic Book Day Eve. Enjoy your New Comic Book Day tomorrow, and I will see you Sunday.
Later.